Hi, I'm Nan Simonsen. I'm a nationally board certified health and wellness coach, and I'm always looking for something that we can talk about, something we can learn from, something that can maybe change the way we view the world or ourselves, and therefore change our life. And I was listening to, and I cycle a lot, and I work out a lot, and I walk a lot, and I listen to people of interest while I'm doing that, so I can get a lot of information that way. Well, I was listening to Rich Roll, whom I admire, interviewing a Dr. Laura Santos, and they were highlighting her work on the science of well-being. She's a psychology professor at Yale University. She also studies animal cognition and animal behavior, but that's another thing. Um, and her course called, let me get the name of the course. Let's see. Oh, her class at Yale, the psychology and the good life became the most popular class ever at Yale. It's now offered on a podcast. Um, Actually, she is available on a podcast, but the class, The Science of Well-Being, is now available online as an online Yale course. But she has a podcast called The Happiness Lab. And so you can find her, go to YouTube, put in Happiness Lab, and there she is. So in her interview with Rich Roll, um, and in her course, she emphasizes, and I'm just reading from the notes, she emphasizes the or practices that really work to improve happiness, gratitude, social connection, savoring and aligning life with meaning and purpose, all of which are easier to cultivate when you know your core strengths. And this is the part that I think is really fun. Um, she recommends that we take a value in action survey. So, first of all, back to the interview. At about 1 hour in, it was about a 2 hour and 20-minute interview. About an hour in, I remember where I was on my bike. I even reached, I'm going to run right into a wall one day, even though I'm on a nature trail. I even reached over and hit my calendar and just spoke into it, saying 1 minute, I think it was 1 hour and 2 seconds or something like that. But in that first, right around at the minute mark, she began talking about this, and that is the VIA survey. She said she was talking about living life to our strengths. And I'll talk more about that and elucidate further. But in the meantime, she did recommend taking the VIA. So I reached over again and said, take VIA. And then I found out I had. So I'll mention that a little bit later too. Okay, so what are we talking about? Dr. Martin Seligman, one of the founders of positive psychology, which I studied both from the Institute of Integrative Nutrition when I got my coaching credential, and then again when I had to study for, well, nearly 6 months for my national board of health and wellness coach uh, test, 5 hour exam. We studied that again, and he is huge in the field of positive psychology and in the recommendations for how, if we look for in ourselves and others the positive rather than the negative, it can be the answer to much of what psychiatrists have been working with for a long time with people for even in depressive situations, depressive diagnoses. Um, so he helped develop the VIA Character Strengths Survey. VIA is Values in Action Survey, to shift psychology focus from what's wrong with people, i.e., disorders and deficits, to what's strong within them, their best qualities. Instead of diagnosing problems, the VIA survey helps you identify your signature strengths, the 24 character traits universally valued across cultures like kindness, curiosity, perseverance, and gratitude. Why is this of value? Because first, it can help with self awareness of our best qualities. We often overlook our strengths because they feel natural and effortless. The VIA survey makes them visible so you can name and own what you already do so well. It increases well being. Research shows that using your top strengths daily in new ways is a proven way to increase happiness and reduce depression, more effective and longer lasting than just thinking positive. It improves relationships and meaning. When you understand and appreciate your own and others' strengths, you foster deeper connections, empathy, and a sense of purpose. And it builds resilience, leaning on or leaning into our strengths when we face challenges improves our confidence and ability to cope. And it's easy, free, and science based. Anyone can take the online survey, and you can find it at, and I'll put the link in here, but it's VIA character, so VIACHARACTER.org, VIAcharacter.org. It takes you to the Science of Well-Being website, and you can simply take the course. Let me tell you a little bit more about it. The VIA Character Strength Survey helps you discover which of these strengths are most natural to you, your signature strengths. These are the qualities you already use without even thinking about it, but when you use them intentionally, research shows, as it said, that they significantly increase happiness, deepen your relationships, and help you feel more engaged and fulfilled. The reason this works is because it helps you live more authentically. When you know what you're good at and what energizes you, you can bring more to those qualities or of those qualities into your everyday life, your work, at home, and in how you relate to others. And studies show that just finding small new ways to use your top strengths each day can boost well being and even reduce symptoms of depression. The best part, the VIA, as I said, is science based, but it's also free. It takes about 20 minutes, and I think there's, 120 questions. And then again, at viacharacter.org. So I um, heard this, I actually went on and I thought, wait a minute. We, while studying for this, I first took a 3-month course studying for the, let me stop that, studying for the national boards, and then another 3-month of independent study. But we were led to take this course because we were learning motivational interviewing, and which helped us understand not only the strengths and value, look for the strengths of others, but also on our own. And this is what I got from it. It's a front and a back. There are 24 character strengths, and then there are virtues, and the strengths are categorized in 6 virtues. And I didn't know that at the time. When I saw this, I went on and did even more research, and the virtues are wisdom, courage, humanity, justice, temperance, and transcendence. I'm going to say it again because this would have been helpful. And if you take the test and all you have is this, what you might do is what I did. I wanted to be a certain thing and value a certain thing and mm, stand out for certain things. And in some cases, that wasn't me. As a matter of fact, I was the leader of a sales company, Tupperware franchise. We had thousands of consultants, and I was with them with them, I owned it for over 20 years. And so I always thought I was the leader of groups. Well, one of my lesser strengths was uh well, that wasn't one of them, but anyway, so if you've got 24, the second half are your lesser strengths, but the last five of that second half or last six is your even lesser strengths. But working well as a member of a group or a team, being loyal to the group, doing one's share. I read that I was not that well, far down enough, and it made me feel bad. I thought, oh, I thought I was good at that. No, there were other things that I was really good at that led to my being successful in building a sales company that was, some people said, slated to doom when we began, when I bought it. And that became one of the top Tupperware franchises in the world, not just the United States. Um, and what I didn't pay enough attention to was the value of my strengths. The top 12 are the strongest. The top strengths were accurate, but I didn't see them as a value. I saw them as taken for granted. Why do you think? It's what we just heard. Because many times we don't see our value, what comes naturally, as important, as meaningful, because it doesn't feel that hard. Well, what I've realized when I wrote Aging Powerfully, it was, many of you know this, I wrote it to celebrate my upcoming 70th birthday. So I was writing it starting in July of 2020. It was published December, near the end of December, the 27th of 2020, so only 6 months later. And that was just days, 10 days, 12 days before my turning 70. And that was the whole plan. And in the book, I stated my mission for my next 1, 2, or 3 decades. I was going to spread the word about lifestyle as medicine, because when I joined a lifestyle medical practice, as a health coach, I worked with patients who, though appeared to be doomed based on medical predictions from other places and medicines they were given for life, become well because they practice lifestyle medicine. And that's what we were teaching. And I was their health coach. And so I wrote this first with my own about 35 page memoir. Um, and then how, in spite of all of that, growth happened and lifestyle as medicine not only cured me of what doctors predicted would be a lifetime battle in a number of areas. And then the rest of it is in an acronym, 10 letters, 10 lifestyle modalities. Well, I'll just share with you my six top strengths, because now I realize, and I'm going to give credit to one other thing, and that is Dr. Brooke Goldner. I took her rapid recovery course, which meant I worked with her for a 6 week period. Prior to that, and I was just talking about her with, I'm going to call them the background group, the PowerPoint group that I do on Tuesdays, and we gather together on Zoom, and then they're in the background for anonymity purposes. And then we get together and discuss what I'm discussing right now with you. We were just talking about Dr. Goldner and the fact that she makes public everything that she teaches, that she could monetize, does if you're working directly with her, but you could do on your own. Because I did a 6 week program from everything I learned and got great results. And then I thought, wow, if I got great results and there's still residual stuff, and that was really childhood things that I needed some guidance with, and some other things like that. That's why I took the 6 week with her in rapid recovery group. The first one was basically the Goodbye Lupus protocol, that I worked on my own for 6 weeks. And then I even edited that rapid recovery group, meaning paying less, half the price, to be able to stick around, hear everything, and continue to learn, as I called nailing it in. Um, Much of when I read this, I was able to internalize because I took steps with her guidance. Because every day in the rapid recovery group, there were videos, and the videos highlighted the mindfulness, that just a diet, just a lot of water and omega-3s and raw veggies couldn't cure of autoimmune diseases. The mind had a lot to do with it. And every day she would guide us through mindful um, practices. Some were meditation and in a number of ways. So all of this to say, I realize that a lot of these steps I could now embrace because I came out of all of that being okay, not constantly nailing myself for what I couldn't do right, because you've heard this wah-wah story, because I'm left-handed, dyslexic, and ADHD. So my brain is, I call it like Swiss cheese. Anything going around there is going to fall into some of the holes. My head's like a gumball machine. Whatever's up here comes flying out of my mouth if it happens to drop down. In other words, there's just a lot of dissonance. But I'm 74. I've harnessed it. And you know what? I'm darn good at that. As long as you don't ask me to do things I cannot do psychologically and physiologically. So the top 10 strengths that I took advantage of were, and and I'll tell you what they fell under in terms of these um the what they call the virtues. Simply because if you do this and you can't find anything about the virtues, because I didn't understand what they meant. So, first of all, the first one was part of transcendence, and it's appreciation of beauty and excellence. Noticing and appreciating beauty, excellence, and or skilled performance in various domains of life, from nature to art to mathematics to science to everyday experience. 100%. I can't get on my bike and ride in nature without noticing things that almost make me want to cry. They are so spectacular. And in many cases, it's simply the form of a tree with the light coming through it. And I thought that was, well, an easy way to dismiss that is just to think that that's frivolous. Boy, how frivolous is that? And that one is under transcendence. Love of learning, that's under wisdom. Mastering new skills, topics, and bodies of knowledge, whether on one's own or formally related to the strengths, or formally related to the strengths of curiosity, but it goes well beyond that. Okay. Um, and I thought that I did that simply because I was so terrible at school. I was trying to make up for feeling um, beneath the accomplishments of everybody else who hadn't. Um, again, under transcendence, being aware of and thankful for good things that happen, taking time to express thanks. Um, there was a characteristic there that didn't get printed, but the description pretty well says it. Again, under wisdom, curiosity, taking an interest in ongoing experience for its own sake, finding subjects and topics fascinating and exploring and discovering. Hello, what am I doing right now? This fuels me. And I could find reasons months and months ago to think that this was because I didn't have any worth inside, so I had to find it outside. No, it just happens to be one of my strengths, that I love to do this. And because I'm doing it, it makes me really happy and content and looking forward to the next 1, 2, or 3 decades. Um, Courage or zest, that's under courage. I like that. Approaching life with excitement and energy, not doing things halfway or half-heartedly, living life as an adventure, feeling alive and activated, 100%. And then finally, number six, and there were 24, so this is the top fourth. Um, Honesty, which is under courage, speaking the truth, but more broadly presenting oneself in a genuine and way and acting in a sincere way, being without pretense, taking responsibility for one's feelings and actions. Do you see that? And even if it were my lower one quarter, someone here could have the lower one quarter. Does that make that person less valuable than these six? No, different, different. And that's why it's so important to play with this. Because the more we understand that these 24 characteristics are honored throughout the civilized world as strengths, every one of them is a strength, that we naturally have a propensity to certain directions in which we lead our attention and apply our skills, that every one of these is highly valued. I wish I had known that when I first took the test. As a matter of fact, I put it to the left of me. I have some stand-up files, and one of them is something I don't want to throw away but would like to, just in case. And that's where I put it. It was in the almost throwaway pile because I saw this as all my weaknesses and I was ashamed of them. Isn't that interesting? Now, back to the virtues. So what, and I even marked this. I had four under wisdom, two under courage, and four under transcendence. Wisdom is creativity, originality, curiosity, judgment, critical thinking, open-mindedness, love of learning, perspective, and wisdom. Four on that. Four on transcendence, appreciation of beauty and excellence, gratitude, hope, humor, and spirituality, which means looking to something that is higher than ourselves. It doesn't mean a particular religious belief in any way. And then two, under courage, bravery, perseverance, honesty, integrity, zest, enthusiasm, and vitality. And under justice, one of those, the six traits, or not traits, but values, I had zero. Teamwork, fairness, and leadership. I thought I was a team player. I don't know. But in any case, try it. Try it. Take time with this. Allow yourself to hear what I'm saying and play it out. None of this, what I did, judgment stuff. Well, I thought I should have been, and what's wrong with me? And oh, that person's better than this person. No, all 24 of these are character strengths under four virtues, six virtues, all of which make us really special. I'm done. I hope this was helpful. I'm going to do this. I don't know that you can, now you can't see this. Let me see if I can put, I don't know how I can do this. I'd like to be able to put this up as a screenshot. If not, I'll type it under description so that you can get a hold of this, because this, and then the characteristics, the strengths, the 24 strengths, and all 24 will be on your printout as they were on mine, but with the lower ones, meaning that that's not your strength. This is your strength, but this doesn't mean failure. I got it wrong. Okay, I'm done. Thank you for being here, and I love you. I appreciate that you are with me. If you haven't subscribed, please do. It helps the channel. It helps other people find us. A thumbs up makes a difference. I'm learning all this on YouTube. And I hope to see you next time. I'm on with the group every Tuesday, and Usually we do a video. Sometimes it's just open forum and I don't record anything, but usually we do this. So thank you. Have a great day because I know I'm going to and hope to see you soon. All right. Bye bye.